Hi, Bashar.
And you good day.
How are you?
Perfect, and you?
I'm good.
All right.
I've been missing you.
You have been missing me?
Yes.
Have you been throwing things at me?
Perhaps.
Why have you been missing me when I am always accessible if you shift your frequency to a level where you can access your own higher mind vibration on the same level on which I exist?
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
Oh, you're welcome. I am happy to remind you.
Oh, I need that. Things are going well.
All right.
In the family.
All right.
2 of my daughters and my granddaughter, we're going to Japan next
all right.
week.
How exciting.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I wanted to ask you a question. I think it's in line with what you've been talking about obstacles when we're following our joy.
Yes.
Excitement.
Yes.
Synchronistically, these obstacles seem to...
They're not obstacles.
Okay.
They're opportunities. Do you remember all the tools we mentioned exist in the kit of excitement? Obviously not, so say no.
No.
Thank you. Because remember, one of the tools is the reflective mirror. The reflective mirror shows you what might be in you that is out of alignment with your true self, with your joy, with your happiness, so that you can understand what that belief is, deal with it, and let it go. Therefore, it's not that when you're following your joy, obstacles come up. When you're following your joy, information comes up, is being reflected to you that you may be holding on to something in your unconscious mind or subconscious mind that doesn't serve you. Therefore, discovering, in the middle of your joy, discovering something that is not your joy is part of your joy. You understand? It is your joy to find the things within yourself that are not your joy so you can let them go. Isn't that joyful?
It is.
That's how you have to see it. That's how you work with it in a positive way. If you define them as obstacles, you have, by that definition, interrupted your flow. But by saying, oh, goody, my reflective mirror is working brilliantly by showing me something I need to know that I can then let go of and add its energy to my joy. That's how it works. That's one of the tools in the kit of excitement, is to find out what is not your excitement. That's part of the process of experiencing your excitement. And it doesn't have to last that long as you're willing to use it in a positive way. The only reason it might stick around is because you're defining it in a way that makes it stick around by saying, well, it's an obstacle. And now that I've defined it as an obstacle, by its very definition, it's something difficult to get rid of. It's something that doesn't belong. But if it happens, it must be happening for a reason. You have to stay in the positive state, knowing it's happening for a positive reason that serves you, and then you get to use it that way. It's not about, remember, it's not about what happens. It's about what you do with what happens that matters. Is this helping?
Yes, very much, because I was thinking of trying to trick the obstacles.
Trick them into doing what?
Well, now I know, just trick them into viewing them as joy and part of my excitement.
But you also have to pay attention to what the message is that they're delivering. You can't just ignore it and say, oh, it's just a joyful obstacle, la-di-da, skip away. You have to know why it's delivering information to you, because otherwise you have nothing to work with and it might crop up again and again and again until you pay attention to what the message is you need to pay attention to. You need to transform. Yes?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I've had a few friends make their transition lately, and I was wondering, what exactly happens to humans when we
What happens
lose life force?
when you die?
Yeah.
Well, you wake up in spirit. Remember, physical reality is just a dream that you're having while you're in spirit. You never leave spirit. That's your natural state. You're just all dreaming that you've left. That's what physical reality is. So basically speaking, when you die, you're waking up from a dream and remembering more of who you are. Yes?
That's exciting.
Yes, it is. Does that help?
Yes, very much. And then lastly, I would like to ask you, I've been trying to become a nicer person.
Trying to be a nicer person?
Yeah, you know.
Why is it difficult for you to simply be a nice person?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, what definitions are you applying to yourself that make you seem like you're not a nice person?
Just sometimes I get irritated with my children or
Why?
say things.
Why? What's the definition behind the irritation? Something isn't going right because you have this idea of what right should be, when in fact, you may not actually know what the correct path is, but by insisting that you do know, then when it doesn't happen that way, you experience irritation. Maybe you need to relax your idea that you know what everyone should be doing. How about that?
How about that as a mother? So sometimes I think I should just be quiet.
Sometimes that might be the wisest way to be a nice person.
Okay, thank you so much, Bashar.
Just take it on a case-by-case basis. You can feel your way through it. You are a nice person. Sometimes you forget that, but you can start with the understanding that you are a nice person so that you don't have to try to become one. You just have to remember that you are one and then behave accordingly.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And?
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
I'm here to say that Russian community want to tell how much they love you and appreciate all the messages you give to them.
It is our pleasure and our passion.
Thank you. And they ask, do we have any channels for Russian-speaking people?
Of course you do.
Well, could you tell, there's channel named Nala?
What about it?
Could you tell anything about it?
No,
Why not?
because it's not my job.
Oh, okay.
You will use your synchronicity to find, if that is a permission slip you need, the channels that you need that can translate ideas into the language that you prefer.
Okay. Could you tell how many percentage-wise Russian people living in Russia or close by are ready to shift to the new reality?
About 5%.
5%?
Yes.
Am I in the right train?
By asking the question, no. But if you don't need to ask the question, yes.
I really want to.
Do you understand what we just said to you?
I know.
If you have to ask the question, then that means you're not. If you're on the right train, you don't need to ask the question because you know you're in alignment because you're acting on your passion to the best you can with no assumption and no assistance on the outcome. Are you doing that every moment that you possibly can?
Yes.
Then you're on the right train.
Thank you.
So when you ask, am I on the right train? That means you're doubting that you're following your passion. If you're following your passion, you're not doubting what train you're on. Yes?
Yes.
Simple, isn't it?
Not so much by feelings.
Remember, there is no such thing as a difficult situation, only definitions that make them experienced as difficult. So watch your definitions. If you're having difficulty, look to your definitions and change them, and then things will be easier. You'll go with the flow. Yes?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes. Could you tell me what my level of vibrations?
At this particular moment,
Yes, please.
you are bouncing around somewhere between 125,000 and 135,000 cycles per second overall.
Thank you. And would you tell if I have any hybrid kids?
You do.
Would you tell how many?
That's an open-ended question because it determines only by the percentage of DNA that any of them might contain.
How can I connect with them?
by following your passion and making yourself a better receiver, a better antenna to higher frequency communication. Yes? And look to your synchronicity, because very often messages from other dimensional levels will more often than not come through the synchronicity that happens in your life that turns your attention to those things. So if you're walking along and some synchronicity happens that suddenly, for no apparent reason, makes you think of the idea of your hybrid children, that's usually an indication that someone is communicating with you. So pay attention to the synchronicity.
Is there any special way I can make it happen?
I just
more
told
easier?
you.
Just
I just told you.
okay.
You're not understanding the formula. Follow your passion every moment that you can, to the best you can, with no insistence and assumption as to what the outcome ought to be, and things will start to synchronistically flow. That's the way it works. I'm giving you an actual description of how reality works. I'm giving you the technique. I'm giving you the instruction manual. You just need to follow the instruction. Simple as that. There are no other instructions necessary. Yes?
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
Can it be that simple for you, or do you need it to be more complicated?
I doubt myself a lot.
That means you're trusting in something you don't prefer. That's what doubt is. Doubt is not a lack of trust. Doubt is a 100% trust in something you don't prefer. So start trusting what you do prefer instead. It's up to you. You can put your trust wherever you wish it to be. Why do you trust in things you don't prefer? Does it serve you to do that?
I guess I am taught this way.
All right, well, if you know you're taught that way, then that's the beginning of teaching yourself another way. Because if you're taught that way, you can teach yourself another way, can't you? Can't you?
I try.
I beg your pardon?
I do my best.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Stop trying, and then you will be doing your best. Just be who you prefer to be. You are creating definitions that are making it more difficult for you to change. The very idea that you said, well, I was taught that way, there's an implication in the way you said that that makes it sound like you can't automatically forget everything you were taught about that. You can. You can let all that teaching go in the blink of an eye if you prefer to. But you're thinking that just because you were taught that somehow that makes it stick around longer than it needs to. It doesn't. That's just your definition of what it means to be taught something. But you're creating yourself every moment as a new person, a new person, a new person, a new person, and you are constantly teaching yourself these things over and over and over again. So you can stop teaching yourself these things because no one else is teaching you now except you. So if you don't prefer to keep teaching yourself those things that don't work for you, teach yourself something different because you're a new person. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is this helping?
Yes.
Anything else?
Yes, please. Last time I asked you about head exploding syndrome. You said that is the energy pumping.
Yes.
It happens very often now. It goes through some parts of my body.
All right.
Would you tell me?
You're letting more and more of your true self in. You're letting more energy flow through you. You're practicing getting used to more of your own energy. That's a good sign, yes?
It's a little bit painful still. I do try.
Because there is still resistance, because you're still holding on, as I just explained, to definitions that don't work for you. The more you let those old definitions go, the easier it will be and the less painful it will be to flow that energy through you. But it will be painful as long as you are constricting and resisting because you're holding on to definitions you think you need to hold on to. That's how it works. So let go of the definitions that don't work for you, and it will be less painful. Yes?
Yes.
That's how it works. Simple, simple. This is just physics. That's all it is. Does that help?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I ask one more question?
That was a question. So now I guess you've used them all up. Go ahead.
Because I don't have anybody else to ask, is my birthday the way I know it? Is it real my birthday?
Is your what?
The birthday date?
What do you think it is?
Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about my real parents either.
Do you gravitate to a certain season or month more than any other? Does a certain month or season seem more comfortable to you, more familiar, more like home to you?
I don't know.
I beg your pardon. Did you say I don't know?
I don't know. I like all seasons.
You like all seasons and every month absolutely equally. Is that what you're saying? Not one month stands out more than any other to you. Is that what you're saying?
You're saying that I have to ask myself about that?
Yes, I'm saying that.
Okay.
See what you are attracted to. If you had to choose, if you were forced to choose a month, what month comes to your mind without thinking about it?
November.
I beg your pardon?
November.
November. Why?
Because I like 11/11.
Because you like 11/11. All right. Does that work for you? To share my birthday?
I would love to do that.
Then there you go. 11/11 is your birthday.
Thank you.
Yes?
And one more question, if you can. Are my parents still alive?
I am not going to answer that. Good day.
Thank you.